It's 97.9 The Beat, DFW's hip-hop station with Vita Loca in the morning, Jay Cruz,
What up?
Jazzy Black,
Yo.
Chaotic,
What's happening?
and Anderson Paak.
Yes, Lord.
Yes,
Yes,
won't he do it?
Millie Rod.
Hey.
Millie
Welcome, dude, he's dancing and everything. How are you feeling? You had a listening party just recently out here. It was bananas. Like, what energy are you on right now?
Well, I'm a little cold because the weather's tripping, but I feel good, though. I feel warm inside. I feel excited about this album.
That means you might have a chubby going on about this album.
That's a half mass.
It's almost
But
there.
I stay ready.
Wait till what, next Friday?
Stay ready.
It's almost here.
That's right. About to bust one off on them.
I like that. I like that. The album is called Oxnard.
Yes.
Did I say that right? Oxnard.
Oxnard?
Your
Oxnard?
Your
There
other
it
two
is.
albums, Venice and
Venice and
Malibu.
Malibu, yes.
So you got a Cali thing going on.
Yeah, we're going up the coast up that PCH, taking a trip up north. Now we just so happen to be home.
So your next one will be what?
Sacramento.
Oh, my God. I'm not sure about that. We might be done with the
Dang.
beaches if it's going to Sac. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll come to Dallas.
And call it Pleasant Grove.
Pleasant Grove?
Yes.
Is that
Or
the
Oak
hood?
Cliff.
That's your
Sounds beautiful
his next
to
album.
me.
So let me ask you about your family though, because I know y'all reside in California.
Mhm.
Have you been affected by the wildfires?
Yeah, well, definitely I got friends and family that had to evacuate. My spot, too, is pretty close to what was going on, but for some reason, the Lord got me in his hands, and he didn't touch my house, so they didn't have to evacuate anything, but...
Do you have people out there watching it? Like, I heard Kim and Kay had private firefighters.
Oh, yeah? They
Like,
better have
protect-
something, all that money.
They saved their home and a lot of other homes in the neighborhood. So they just hired like private people
Right,
who obviously had like firefighter skills
right.
to come in and help not just their home. Because at first I was like, just
Yeah.
their home,
Yeah,
bruh.
that's kind of
But it was like the whole neighborhood.
That's crazy. Money.
Anderson, let me ask you, because reading up on you, like you're being compared to Stevie Wonder, Lenny
similar.
Kravitz. Like you, there's an array of people that comes to mind when they hear your music. What would you say your music comes from? Like, what inspired you?
I was inspired by, like, Curtis Mayfield, Stevie, Frankie Beverly and Maze,
Oh, hey.
Tupac, Snoop, Biggie, Jay-Z,
Is that where the
Dipset.
Paak came from? Is it
No,
Paak
no.
inspired?
No, it's actually my middle name.
Oh.
And my last name is Anderson, and it's Korean. My mom's born in Korea, so it's originally her last name.
Hope
she
you're
was
not
adopted.
offended. Blasian?
Yes, we can go with
Blasian?
that. Mhm.
Blasian?
Yeah,
Are you offended? You could say
a niggerian.
Oh, see, that was even worse. I like it. Okay.
better. That was even better.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah, they
Yes,
say that's where
Lord.
you get your eyes from. You like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the eyes, but the rest of me is black as hell, especially my balls.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Ass
look
cheeks.
now. Hold on.
I mean,
Everything. I don't
Wait
know
a
why.
minute,
Why does
brother.
that happen like that?
well,
Are we live right
that's-
now?
You know what? I got to share this with you. That's the darkest part
It
of
is.
my body
That's
as
how it
well.
happens.
So
Yeah.
kudos.
Are we having a bro-to-bro moment
I
right
mean,
now?
yeah,
Hey,
that's the
man.
lighter tone.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's
moment.
red niggas,
Yeah.
man. That's how it goes.
I know
Black
before
balls.
your name, Breezy Lovejoy, that came.
Wait, are you kidding me?
It came. Look, look, I be out here watching stuff, so I was like, I gotta ask him this. So the whole Cheeto thing, like, do you still have like a gassy thing
What's
when
the
you?
Cheetos thing, Jazzy?
He got his before Anderson Paak, he was Breezy
Breezy.
Lovejoy.
right?
And he got the name Breezy because his friends used to call him Breezy because he used to
Pass
pass
gas
gas
a
all the
lot.
time. You and Vita have something in common a lot.
she-
From
Is
eating
that
the
what's going
Cheetos.
on?
Blows it up.
No, it's so bad. Like we
Having
literally
the
have
whole
to walk
studio
out of
tastes
the
like
studio.
boiled eggs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
We just call her fart.
Wow, just a walking fart like my son.
Well, we have a song that goes with it too. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Somebody's got a stinky booty.
Wow.
Her name is Vita.
And she made a poopy. Somebody's got a stinky
You
booty.
accidentally fart when you have sex? That's so trifling.
I do, and then I say, excuse me. That is so freaking
Why did my
awesome.
girl
Do
think
it.
I farted the other day when we were having sex? I was like, absolutely
When
not.
you're getting top?
During sex? Ooh, that's even worse.
When that's when
That's
the top
the
is
word.
really
Oh,
good.
wow. Okay,
I gotta
move
fart, I
on.
gotta
Next
fart.
discussion.
You know what the word? Okay, no, I'm not gonna go there though. Yeah, because I have a dirty mind. Anderson, you know what? I was just, it's Anderson.
Yeah,
I'm
Anderson.
saying it right because I have a, I'm proper English.
Paak, not Paak.
Okay, Anderson Paak. You just released some music on Malibu, and you're kind of coming out of, I would say, like a shell a little bit, discussing your life and your music, so to speak. And in listening to it, I see your mom is like a straight up soldier. Like, she is phenomenal in your background. So how much of her would you say that you put into you when you're doing your music?
It's a big part of me. It's just like, this is a part of my whole hustle. Like, I grew up, my mom didn't work for nobody. She was always working. She was part of the reason why I have good musical taste, and part of the reason why I'm so moody, and reason why I don't eat any beef or pork. And she's just everything, you know. She's just that was like, you know, my biggest hero growing up. So.
Yeah, and I know the story. Can you like tell us briefly about it, because she's my biggest hero.
Right.
Listening to your story.
Yeah. Well, first she was born in the 50s during the Korean War, so she was an abandoned kid during the war. Her and my uncle were left behind, and up until they're like 7, somebody raised them, and then they left them behind, and then thank God somebody found them and then got them into an orphanage, and then they moved to L.A., Compton at the time in the 50s. And my grandparents were both in the military.
What branch?
One was in the Navy and one was in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're pretty high ranking too. And then she was raised pretty much in LA till like she got into high school, and then moved out to Oxnard. Had my sisters and my little sister, and then raised us out there. She started her own business, a produce business in Oxnard. It pretty much is the only thing to do is agriculture out there. So she had a strawberry company. She did that all the way till I was in high school. And then in high school, she went to prison my senior year. She had gotten into bankruptcy and did pretty much, it was like blue collar stuff. She was still making money, wasn't notifying the government, and owed a bunch of people money. And then the DA built the case around her. It's like a real racist county. So I feel like they like really made an example of her. So they gave my mom... They gave her 7.5 years, and 14 she had to do 7.5 mandatory. So boom, like my whole life changed after that. I was like graduated high school. They were in prison for almost 8 years, and then when she got out, I was doing my music thing.
You was ready for it.
Did you buy her a house?
I did.
Yeah, I know you did. It felt great, didn't it?
She would have slapped you in your head.
Yeah, I
if you
know.
did.
She still slapped me in my head.
But
all the
that's an
time.
awesome thing to come out and
Yeah.
to see her son
Yeah.
at where he is, and to also benefit from it, which is dope.
Yeah, definitely.
Because y'all was stupid, dumb rich.
Yes.
And then you went to stupid, dumb poor.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
how do you transition? Because I remember when my parents divorced, we had, when you got two parents, I got a little money. You got
Yes.
George S. Jean money,
Yeah.
Gloria Vanderbilt money. You know what I'm saying? LA Gear money.
Wow.
But then when you divorce, it's down to great value,
That's right.
cereal.
Mhm.
And I had a problem with that. Like,
Yes.
I acted out. I was not the best kid because I was like, why my money going down?
Right.
Because y'all divorced. Like, how was you able to transition?
Well, my family, my sisters, everybody was struck by it because my mom used to take care of all of us, and my sisters were grown and had their own families too. But once my mom went down, they didn't have nobody to help pay their bills, so everybody had to just come together. We were already a tight family, but we got even tighter after that. And so they really kept us grounded. And then honestly, the music, I had an outlet. So every time I was like feeling some type of way, other people getting into drugs or like they, do whatever they do to cope with that. And I, always had music. So I started playing drums. I was still playing drums in the church. I was still making beats. And I stopped for a little bit during that time and like started working and got into all kinds of different things. I was even like selling weed and stuff. I was dipping in and out of different things.
But didn't you work on a weed farm?
Yep. Yeah. I was about to have my son.
Take some product home.
Absolutely.
sometimes?
I had to. I had to buy diapers. And we was taking all the risks. They was putting us in a house with like thousands of pounds of weed, and we was the only ones stupid enough to be in there just trimming like, okay, life's a peach.
And this was a long time ago, right?
Yeah, it's like 8 years, 7 years ago or something. Yeah, but we was doing all kinds of stuff we shouldn't be doing because we didn't want to get regular jobs, and the music stuff wasn't always paying right away. So yeah, I was trimming weed, selling weed. I thought I was gonna be a chef.
Mm-hmm. Cooking weed or what?
Yeah, I knew how to cook, make hash and like butter and stuff, but I legit was gonna go to like culinary school. I went. And
you did?
Cut myself the first day, and then I was like, this ain't it.
You cut your finger?
This ain't it, chief. Yep. Yeah. They're like, don't be the guy that cuts your finger the first day, okay, everybody? And I'm just trying to. Can I go to the bathroom? Yeah.
Does blood gross you out?
What?
blood? Does it gross you out?
Depends.
What, is period blood or finger cut
I'll
blood?
take you straight to the shower. We can do whatever we gotta do.
Oh, okay.
Put sheets out, trash bags, whatever we gotta do.
Oh, you freaky.
Weather's better.
Freaky.
Yeah. Nah, I'll take that over Putin
Now,
farting and.
I heard you say that if Dr. Dre had because he's the one that, I'm not going to say made you famous, because you was out here in your own right, making music, doing making the music that you wanted to, and then all of a sudden you're introduced to Dr. Dre. He knows about you. And I heard you say that had he found you 5 years earlier than he did, it wouldn't have went the same way.
Right.
What way do you think it would have went?
I would have been too caught up, fanned out, would have said stupid stuff. I wasn't even comfortable in my own skin at the time, I was like chasing other things and trying to do something that wasn't really me, when you're like in your 20s and you're like just searching, And so that was it. I wasn't really confident in what I could do before, so I'm glad I didn't meet him back then. And I was also named Breezy Lovejoy, and he probably wouldn't even pay attention.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was cool. I got to, by the time I was with him, nobody could do me like me, and they wanted me to do me when I pulled up. So it wasn't like, we want you to write something for Dre or sound like this person or anything. It was like, no, we love your song, we love your vibe. Can you do some of that? And I was like, for sure. Yes,
That's awesome. All right, so the album drops this Friday.
Yeah.
11/16.
Yeah.
Oxnard, which is a city in Cali.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there. Bubbling and Tint. Two
Tints.
singles right now?
Bubbling
Tints.
was the first street single we put out there.
Oh, that was the street
just
single.
to get him buzzing.
Okay.
Sick video for that. And then Tints is the first official single with Kendrick Lamar.
With featuring Kendrick.
Uh-huh.
That's dope.
Yeah.
You're
dope.
having like a big carnival thing or something. Whose idea was that? Were you like, was it you?
Mine.
Was like your people?
Yeah, I wanted to do something big like at OPAC, at Performing Arts Center, Oxnard Performing Arts Center. Nobody ever does like anything really there. Nobody really has shows in Oxnard, so I wanted to do something really big for the city. It's going through a lot. The whole county's going through a lot with the fires and everything, even shootings and stuff. So everybody was thinking we weren't going to do anything in Oxnard, so it was hard to kind of keep it from the city. But I'm really glad we're going to do something really special.
That's cool. What is it like going back and kind of being like,
I never go back, so I don't know.
Really?
No,
I
go back.
You ain't never went back to that girl before because you had that good.
Nah.
Come on, you done went back to the good before.
You're like a hometown hero now. Like, what's that like? I know the attention is just like.
It's dope. Oof. Yeah, it's dope, man. It's dope to be in a position right here where you're making music that's pushing the culture and creative, and you can still go out and have a pizza and not be attacked.
You're saying you're not that famous yet.
I'm not that lit. I'll be telling people, but I've been getting more lit, especially out here when we come to the South or ATL or Dallas. People be pulling up, getting.
Oh, people are talking about you, man.
Yeah, it's
You're
cool.
buzzing, bro.
Yeah, no, it's a good feeling.
You
right
play
now.
instruments, you sing, you rap. You're the whole package, all wrapped up in one. You're creative. You're not scared to
Pioneering
be
this new wave of music.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you.
Yeah.
scared to be original and do something different.
Okay, he's got a chubby already. Go ahead, Cash.
Anderson, so what do you want your fans to get from this album?
Man, I just want them to feel cool. I want them to feel sexy when they listen to it. Have something to play for they friends, for their mama, for their boo thing, for their main chick, their side chick, whatever you got to do. When they're driving, I want them to feel real good when they play. And it's music to build you up. It's not music that got malice or build you down or attack you. It's just music to make you feel good, and it's not rocket science. We got political stuff. We got funky stuff. We got ass clapping stuff.
Right.
We got something you can make love to. Got something you can fight to and go to the gym to. This album is Same Man, New Car. So I'm bringing all these great.
Like that.
That's it.
When you say make love to, have you found yourself making love to your own music yet?
No, my wife doesn't want to hear me. She want to hear I gotta make love to different stuff.
Like what?
Korean
Give us
pop music. Our dead silence, the sound of the air conditioning, or that's it.
Oh.
'Cause she's very picky.
No mood music.
Uh-uh.
Are you
Walking
serious?
down
I'm
the
just happy to
background.
be there when I get some. So
that
whatever
K-pop
it
must be an
takes,
aesthetic.
right?
it's all good. Once a year, we doing it. All right, let's get it.
That's what it feels
It's the
like
annual.
once a year.
I ain't
But you
sure.
getting it, and that's
I'm getting it when I get it.
I want to throw this out there. R.I.P. Mac Miller.
Yeah.
I'm from Pittsburgh. I knew Mac early in his career. He used to sit behind me when I used to host college events in Pittsburgh. So when he blew up, I really lost touch and never really. You did Dang with him. Was there any other songs you did other than Dang?
Man, no, we
that
actually did. I don't know if we actually say this because I don't know if it's gonna clear, but we worked on other music, but honestly, that was really the only song we did.
That you did.
Other than that, we just hung out a lot and
Yeah,
talked.
Let me ask you real quick, bro. Mac partied even back then.
Mm-hmm.
Could you see trouble
No,
rearing its nasty head?
no, he was always happy. He was always in a good mood. He was always if I felt like trouble or felt like in a bad mood, I knew I could hit him up and he was always gonna be cool.
Right.
Like he was a light. Like for people,
That's what everybody was saying.
that was all it was. You know, the world didn't deserve him. Honestly, every time he was around, he was just a big light, and he was like a magnet, and he was always, extending his hand to a lot of people that were troubled. That's what the sad part is that there were a lot of people that seemed like they were in a worse condition, and he was almost like,
trying to help them.
The shepherd, you know what I'm saying? He'd bring people in, have people crashing, whatever. Use what's mine is yours. So,
well, if you haven't heard it, go check out Dang with Mac Miller and Anderson .Paak. It's a great song.
30 million people heard it, right?
Yeah, it's my first gold single.
It does have 30 million views on it, but
yes, Lord.
So, hanging out with Mac like that, what has kept you from going down that path? Because I get the energy from you that you're not the addict. You don't pop pills and stuff like that. You might smoke a toke or whatever. But how do you stay in the lane without going down that tragic lane?
I'll say this, I was moving just as fast as Mac. And there's a lot of people like we are on the road all the time. Everybody's got their hang up or their addiction or whatever. Some people don't drink or smoke or do anything, but they're addicted to women or they're whatever. So everybody's got their own thing, but I have a family. That's all. I'll just say that, I have 2 kids. I got a wife, I got sisters, I got my mom. I always think about them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I'm messing up, and I mess up a lot, like, wifey's like, I'm gonna tell your mom. And then it's like, fuck. I'm gonna tell your sister. It's like, chill, And then, yeah. And I got my little son, I got my kids. I always think about that, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these people, they don't have that family foundation. They don't even have nothing to really work for other than themselves. And so everything just, they get lonely and they just go back to themselves and don't have that, that family structure. So I would say 100% that's it.
Oh, yeah. That was,
I thought she was jumping in.
Oh, no, I was getting a boomerang earlier. I just posted it.
Oh. Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that, keeping yourself grounded and keeping your family around you, because somebody trying to be in the business right now really needs to know how to stay grounded, like like me myself, like you said, it's your kids. I have a 12-year-old and I was an addict.
Right.
So I went to rehab and I made him a part of it. Right. Like I brought him around me, and let him see what drugs can do to you, what cocaine will do to you.
Yep.
So now when, if it's ever thrown up in his face, he could say, yo, because I know your story, you had a family member that was bad on drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I have come from a whole line. My pops was strung out. He went to prison for drugs and abuse. My mom used to be, on drugs as well. Like, it's just a whole lineage. My grandpops was an alcoholic. And so it's just something that's almost like passed down, incarceration and drug use, So it's like about breaking that,
the cycle.
That cycle for sure.
Well, you broke that cycle.
Hey, yes, Lord. Won't he do it?
Put it under your foot and you squashed it. One of the Oxnard.
November 16th.
This Friday.
Man, you're like one of the coolest dudes we ever met. It's like you're part of the show. Like you're just right
You
here.
should have seen him at the listening party. He was smiles the whole time. Remember, Jazz?
We were like in the corner, so I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, I was like, is there?
It was too crowded, bro. Right. I couldn't get over.
And then we were looking,
at
she was like, that's crazy. You literally like wake up and your whole life has just changed and you don't even realize how fast it's happening. There's cameras in their face, and I was like, they are not turning the light off. Like they're gonna keep the light shining in his face all the time. But that's beautiful though, like to see your success and see you evolve.
And you didn't expect such a crowd, right? You thought it was more like a private listening party, and it was like a whole party. He was like, man, this is like a concert.
Yeah.
Pleasant. What's the best thing about being where you are right now?
Just being able to provide, It's like I would be doing this if I was making money or not. I can't help it. I love to make music. I love like seeing the reaction it makes, but it's dope to be able to provide, and you're doing it with the same people that you started with, the same people that I was, on couches with, sharing one little blunt, going back and forth with, like we going all over the world now. And like to hear like the song hitting radio and doing these big stages and working with like Dre, not only working, but now Dre's like a real life mentor. Like I can just hit him up on some funny shit. I can send him a meme or some shit, So it's like that kind of stuff just trips me out, and just getting a lot of love from not only peers, but like a lot of like the legendary people. It's like I could see that they really are happy that an artist like myself has come around because maybe they never thought it could happen, you know?
Undeniable, bro.
Yeah.
And what's the worst thing? Like you're in this business now. Be honest, very candid. What is the worst thing that you've had to deal with that you're like, oh my God, this sucks?
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing, it ain't too many worse, man. This is the dope to be able to do what you love. But the thing, sometimes, you know, you could be away from your family. You see the strain that happens, like the balance, how unbalanced that is when you have to work 100% of the time. And then, you know, wifey's 100% mom. And then it's like you come back from tour and your kids is grown. They talking. They got their own things going and you got to leave again. And it's like, dang, like you're missing out kind of on this stage, but it's for a reason to build. And then like how close proximity now you are with fan base, like that kind of, it's a good thing and a bad thing. I feel like you get to really see what the fans are talking about and like what people are talking about, and the internet can be really strange and cruel. Yeah, so
very cruel. You ever read a nasty comment about yourself?
Yes.
What was it?
I just they said that they said Anderson .Paak sounds like if Newport cigarettes could sing, and they said that
What?
his hairline looks like RoboCop took his helmet off and he pulled up with the roof missing. And they also said that his teeth.
Let me see your hairline, Anderson. Take that off.
Anderson, listen, we're doing all good. You're not going to Tory Lanez me right now. We got the beanie on. Okay? This is about the music. This is about the music.
Oxnard.
Okay?
Friday.
Oxnard, November
Oxnard.
16th. Same man, new hairline. So let's go. Yes,
Oxnard.
Lord.
Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.